Assalamu alaikum everyone. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Do you know what this means?
Say, Rab,
And say,
my Rab, Zidni, increase me in ilm.
what is ilm?
In
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Beautiful, mashallah. Beautiful. Jazakumullah khair. So this is Allah giving instructions to Rasulullah to make dua so that he is increased in knowledge, to increase in knowledge. And we can always make this dua to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for knowledge. Oh Allah, please allow me to have more knowledge. And what we mean by that, of course, is beneficial knowledge. Okay. So this ayah of the Quran, let me show you. It is taken from Surah Taha, chapter 20 of the Quran. And it's verse 114. It's towards the end of the ayah. And I can recite it for you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فتعالى الله الملك الحق ولا تجعل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما. Okay. And pray, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Pray, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Okay, I have a few notes for you. Why is it good to ask for knowledge? You know, Imam al-Shafi'i, radiyallahu anhu, he said that every time I increase my knowledge, I realize how ignorant I am. SubhanAllah, how modest was Imam al-Shafi'i. Every time I increase my knowledge, I realize how ignorant I was or I am. So we have to make sure that we increase on beneficial knowledge, because the Prophet also says to us, there is a hadith that whenever a Muslim seeks a path for knowledge, Allah makes the path to Jannah or to paradise easy for him or her. Okay, so we have to strive to increase our knowledge, inshallah. So going back to the slide, so let's continue, and we start with, as usual, to refresh our memories by doing a little quiz. By the way, I want to show you something in the back. This masjid is called Masjid Al-Qayrawan Mosque. It's in the mid part of my country, Tunisia, and it's a mosque that was built when the Muslims came to make Tunisia Muslim. And it's one of the very first mosques that were built. It's called Masjid Uqba ibn Nafi'. It's still there, subhanAllah. One of the oldest mosques and the first mosques in North Africa before the Muslims went to Spain, on the way to Spain, to Al-Andalus. Okay, let's continue. Quiz time. What is EMTS? Let's go back to business. What is EMTS and what is it responsible for? If you remember, we have 5 makharij al-huruf, right? We have the nose, the throat, the mouth and the lips, rather the lips and the tongue, sorry. And then we have one more, which is called EMTS. What is that?
Empty space in the mouth. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. You are faster than me. Empty mouth and throat space. And what is it responsible for?
Assalamu alaikum. It is just a sound box for echo.
Very nice, very nice. And we use it for the mad letters. The mad letters are alif, ya, and waw. So all the lengthening letters, a, e, u, these are good for that position. That makhraj is very helpful to lengthen those sounds or the long vowels. Alif, ya, and waw. So a, e, u, very good here, right? That's what we use. Okay, second question. What is the rule of ghunna? If you can explain it to me in simple terms. You don't have to be too technical, but you can explain it to me.
Ghunna is like silent. You don't continue on that letter.
Which two letters are used for gunna? Noon. Yes. And meme. Very good. So whenever we have these two letters, noon and meme, and we find the shadda on them, we have to count 2 counts of gunna, nasalization. Inna, amma. Okay, that is gunna, nasalization. Okay, good job, brother, mashallah. How about the third rule? What is the rule of qalqala?
Qalqala is kadpujad.
Beautiful. And what is the qalqala actually? We do what with those letters?
It's bouncing.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Qaf,
Yeah?
dal, ba, him, and ta.
Excellent. قطب جد. قاف, ta, ba, jim, da. قطب جد. That's the bouncing or the echo. Okay. قل هو الله أحد. D. Excellent. Good job, Jannah. And how to remember the letters? Well, we already gave the answer. It's قطب جد, or in English, don't be quick to jump or to judge. All right. What is the strongest form of qalqala?
Qaf and dal.
Okay. And actually, we can say that qalqala with shadda. With shadda. So when we have shadda, it's the strongest form of qalqala. Okay. For example, we say tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. Tab. See, the ba that had a shadda, that is the strongest form of qalqala. It's called qalqala akbar. So a qalqala with shadda, meaning one of the qutb jad letters with coming at the end of a word and having a shadda on it, is the strongest type of qalqala. Okay, good job everyone, mashallah. So what are we going to do today? We have 2 things today we're going to talk about. One is called Tafkheem, and the other is called Tarqeeq. Tafkheem. I like to make this sound, this gesture. Tafkheem, Tarqeeq. Tafkheem, Tarqeeq. I will explain to you what is it. So starting with the property, there are properties or characteristics of certain sounds that needs to be pronounced a certain way. We know that already. Tafkheem means in Arabic, it means to make something thick or emphatic or strong. Thicker, emphatic. Okay. For example, the sound ta, ta, ta is different from ta. Okay. Do you see my mouth? Ta, ta. Right. Ta is more strong, more thick, more mufakham. That is Tafkheem. Okay. And the other one is called Tarqeeq, which is the opposite of Tafkheem, is to make something thin, small, or softer. Small or soft. There are sounds which are naturally thick, and other sounds which are naturally thin. For example, ta is naturally thick. Sin is naturally thin, muraqqaq. But other sounds will become strong or thick or thin because of recitation and because of what is coming before them. So for instance, today we're going to focus on one sound because Tafkheem and Tarqeeq, there is a lot of different things we're going to cover, but I want to start today with the most important word, Allah. So there is, as I said last time, when we write the word Allah, we add this, right? And we said this is an alif. This alif is called alif khanjariyya, the dagger alif. It looks like a khanjar or a dagger, a knife. So this Allah is always strong. It's not thin, it's thick. We don't say Allah, we say Allah. You see the mouth is rounded, open, as if there is something in my mouth. So it's a full mouth kind of sound. Allah, Allah. Now, let's focus on this word Allah and see how sometimes it is mufakham and sometimes it is muraqqaq. So whenever, the rule is the following, whenever we come across the lam, this letter lam, in the word Allah or Allahumma, Allahumma also in the Quran we have Allahumma or Allah. Whenever we come across this letter, we must look at the letter before it. That is the rule. Allah, Allah, the alif and la, Allah, all right? So if the letter has a fatha or a dhamma, what is fatha and dhamma? And this is dhamma, okay? So if the letter before it is a fatha or a dhamma, then we have to make what? We have to make tafkheem. We say Allah. So we pronounce it with a full mouth. Look at my mouth. Allah, Allah. However, second situation is if the letter coming before it is a kasra, then we have to make Tarqeeq. So we say something like Bismillah. We don't say Bismillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahu Akbar. You don't say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim because there is a kasra. Bismi, I, before Allah. Bismillah. Theoretically, before looking at more practice, Tafkheem means full mouth, strong sound. Tarqeeq means thin, empty mouth. Now let's go and see how it looks like, inshallah. So let's have a look at examples. So we start first with Tafkheem, this one here, Tafkheem. So we have the word here, we have a fatha. So we say, Huwa Allah. If I don't make Tafkheem, it will sound Huwa Allah. That is wrong. That is a mistake. We say Huwa Allah. We make it stronger, full mouth, Huwa Allah. Or in the second example, Rafa'ahu Allah. So the rule says to us, when we have a dhamma, like here, or a fatha, like here, coming before the lam of Allah, then we make tafkheem or full mouth. Next example, we also have a dhamma here. Nasrullah. So I will say, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. I don't say, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. It's wrong. It's wrong. I have to make tafkheem, strong, emphatic, full mouth. Nasrullah, Nasrullah. Now, since we have already seen Tafkheem and you all understand it, we are going to move to Tarqeeq. Tarqeeq is the other type of changing of the sound of the lam. In this case, we have to look at what is coming before the lam. And if we notice that there is a kasra, and you all know that kasra means the sound E, before the lam, then we have to make an empty mouth or a thin sound, thinner sound, not thick sound. So we'll say something like Billah, Billah. This first example, Billah, A'udhu Billahi. No, look at my mouth. The position of the mouth has to be in a straight angle, as if it's a line. Billah, Bismillah. So you don't say Bismillah. And then the last example is Deenillah. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله. دين الله. You see my mouth? Look at my mouth. دين الله. I didn't say دين الله. Now I'm going to show you something which is basically our homework for next time. Surah Al-Nasr. Surah Al-Nasr. I want to show you the colors and I want to explain to you what these colors mean, okay? The pink or red here is for med, but we haven't done that yet. Med is lengthening. إِذَا جَاءَ. Okay. But what I want you to focus on is what we have learned so far. What we have learned so far is ghunna in green. Okay. We have it here. An-nasa and innahu. So here and here, it has to be 2 counts. 2 and 2. All right. And then another color, we are going to try to see the qalqala. So for example, in green, we are going to use it for ghunna. And ghunna here will be 2 counts. And here will be 2 counts. And then for qalqala, we use the blue color. and this one is qalqala. I'll make a rounded. And then Tafkheem means to make something strong. Strong, right? Tafkheem, or emphatic, or full mouth. And let's choose, for example, the color, the black, and I'll underline it. So here's Tafkheem, and we have it here, mostly here, because we don't have other words with Tafkheem. But the word Allah here is no Tafkheem. So here it's yes, but here is no, okay? Because there is this kasra, and here there is this dhamma. All right, do you remember the rule of Tafkheem? If there is dhamma or fatha, there is Tafkheem. If there is kasra, it's Tarqeeq. Okay, now listen to me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. You see, we have said Allah here, but we say illah. That's the difference. That's the main difference of Tafkheem and Tarqeeq in this particular area. In this particular area, this is what we need to focus on, inshallah, today. All right, let's do it together. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. This is not long, right? It's only 3 ayat. So we can memorize it if we don't know it, and we can later, for the homework, we are going to do this for practice at home, inshallah. So let's continue with more practice. We have Tafkheem. So we are going to have a few ayat here selected. They are from different parts of the Quran. And you will see that the name Allah here is written many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each time there is either a fatha or a dhamma. So look at the vowel fatha or dhamma before, and all of these are examples of full mouth, Tafkheem. Okay, so let's do it together. لن نؤمن لك حتى نرى الله. Second example, رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها وتشتكي إلى الله والله يسمع تحاوركما إن الله سميع بصير. Just make sure that Allah, now all of them are examples of Tafkheem, Allah, not Illah. Now, second set of examples are actually the opposite. We have to make what we call Tarqeeq. So we have 4 examples. The most common one we use all the time when we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You see here, we have this I before Allah. Bismillah. Bismillah. The next one. Exactly. So the next one, Allah here is not, all of this is not Allah, it's Lillah. We say, although there is a dhamma here, but we have to look at what comes immediately before the lam of Allah that has a shadda. So if we see Lillah, Lillah, not Lillah. So this one is the second ayah, actually rather the first ayah of Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As long as you don't say Alhamdulillahi, that is okay. As long as you say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, that's fine. I don't want to have Alhamdulillah, that will be wrong. Okay. All right. So next is the next ayah of another chapter of the Quran. النصر ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. Just have one is up like this, open. One is like a smile. All right. And the last example. وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد. So when we learn a new rule, don't forget the rule of last week. Because we have Al-Hamid, right? قلقلة قطب جد Al-Hamid, right? Very nice. So let's go ahead now. And we have this. Who can tell me how to pronounce it?
Inna Allah.
Very good.
Inna Allah. Rasulullahi.
So both are examples of Tafkheem, not Tarqeeq. Very good. Tafkheem. Good.
Tafkheem.
And then above we have examples of the opposite. We have Bismillah, Balillah, because both are in the kasra. We have a kasra before Allah. Here, can you tell me how is it pronounced? Dhikrillahi. I didn't change the position of my mouth. Look at me. Dhikrillah. Look at me. I didn't change, right? Dhikrillah. If I change the position of my mouth, it will become Tafkheem. Dhikrillah. Our second one.
Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin.
MashaAllah, beautiful. Wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. This is Tafkheem or Tarqeeq. Which one is it? It's Fatha here. Wallah, Wallah. Look at the mouth is up. Wallah. So this one is actually Tafkheem because there's Fatha. There's Kasra here. Tarqeeq, Dhikrillah, Wallahu. All right. Inshallah, we are going to get there slowly. All right. So homework before we continue practice for next week. Inshallah, we have Surah Al-Nasr. Okay. Chapter 110 of the Quran, Surah Al-Nasr. All right. Let's do it one more time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. So exercise, practice reading the following. Nasrullah. When you see the arrow going up like this, it means it's a high sound of Tafkheem. It means it's emphatic sound or with a full mouth because we have Dhamma and Fatha. So it has to be strong and emphatic. Up, not going down. So Nasrullah, and then the next Huwallah, third box here, Rasulullah, and I'm gonna read the remaining ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want you to please tell me if I make a mistake. All right? If I don't make a mistake, you don't say anything. All right. Khatamallah. So no mistakes. Okay.
No mistakes.
Next. Illallah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that means that I have made it
Mistake.
muraqqaq, mush mufakham. So illallah. Okay. Next. Ala Allah. It sounds like it's okay then. Ala Allah. Next, the last final one is radiyallah.
Tarqeeq here.
You make a mistake, isn't it?
MashaAllah, kids are very awake. Alhamdulillah. Radiyallah, not radiyallah. Very good. Radiyallah. All right. The next series of exercises is the opposite type of rule, which is Tarqeeq, making things thin or soft. Bismillah, fillah. Now listen, when we say to our brothers and sisters, Jazakallahu khairan, we don't say Jazakallah. It doesn't even work actually. If you are too aware of the rule, you cannot make the mistake. So say jazakallah, jazakallahu khayr, jazakallahu khayr, right? Because jazaka, Allah, Allah, jazakallah. All right. Now let's continue. Example number 3. Min indillah. So you see the arrow going down. It means yes, Tarqeeq. Sorry. All right. Alhamdulillah bi ayatillah. Now pay attention here for the next example. You might be tempted to look here, but you don't look here. Look here. This is what you need to focus on. The kasra. This might be misleading here, but Allah is here. He's here actually. So you have to focus on the kasra. A'udhu billah. Next. Qulillah. So quiz time. First, how do we pronounce this one? Raise your hand.
Wallahu.
Very good. MashaAllah. Wallahu. Tafkheem. Yes. All right. I'm going to write with 2 colors. Let's say, for example, red. Red is for all right. And then blue, rather maybe blue is better. Tephreem. Wallah. All right. Next word, please raise your hand if you know how to read it. Excellent. Blue or red?
This one, the blue.
Beautiful. Tarqeeq, because we have kasra. Excellent job, brother. Good job. Next, let's continue. Raise your hand. Saadiya. Very good. Blue or red?
Blue.
Yes. Billahi. Excellent. Tarqeeq. All right. So next, let me see. Anyone raise their hand? Someone else, please.
Yes.
Again, can you do it one more time?
Allah.
Yes. Beautiful. Red or blue?
Red.
Very good. Tafkheem. Yasha Allah. Excellent. Next.
Lillah.
Beautiful. Tafkheem or Tarqeeq?
Tarqeeq.
Good job. Alhamdulillah. This one is a bit tricky. Please raise your hand if you know. All right. Red or blue? Is it red or blue? Tafkheem or Tarqeeq?
The red one.
Yes. قالوا اللهم قالوا اللهم. All right. The last one, raise your hand.
سبحانك اللهم.
Beautiful, beautiful. Which one is it, the red or blue? Is it Tarqeeq or Tafkheem?
Tafkheem.
Very good. Subhanaka Allahumma. Subhanak, without forgetting the qalqala here for ba. Subhanaka Allahumma. Okay. Actually, we are done with today's class. So I want to go back and see if you have any questions that I can answer.
Can you practice again? Izaja?
Yes, of course I can do that. Let's go to the ayah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح رأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا. Don't forget the غنة. ورأيت الناس فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. Any questions?
No. Jazakallahu khairan kasiran.
وإياكم. It's my pleasure إن شاء الله. All right, then we will make the dua. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. بارك الله فيكم and have a good end of day and see you next week إن شاء الله.